Yeah, guys. So because a lot of students, and normally um, the kind of practice I follow is it becomes a little chaotic if a lot of people unmute and talk, and that too, if people unmute and talk, there are only few people who really open up and speak. Some are shy and some are not in the best settings, so they sometimes don't open up and speak. um, yeah, I'll put on my camera and show my face, of course. I'll do that once. But with regards to whether you guys can speak, I would say use the chat because that's the best. It's when almost all the students can be found to participate. If you just type in anything, I will see that, I will respond to that. It'll be seamless. It'll also avoid the risk of spammers coming and just disturbing the meeting. So for certain reasons, there are those protocols. But if you feel that there is something you just cannot type out or you can't express in written form, I don't know why, for some reason, you can feel free to raise your hand and I will then unmute you and then you can ask your doubt. So you can do that. If you really have a long thing that you don't feel like writing, you can unmute and you can, you can raise your hand and unmute you and you can ask those questions. But as much as possible, try to use the chat. I will be reading everything. um, and your if you have a doubt which you feel is silly, don't hesitate to send it because only I'll be reading a chat. Others cannot read what you are sending me. Okay, so it's going to be private. I'll read it, I'll respond to it anonymously. I won't refer to your name. Okay, so don't worry about those things. um, okay, maybe I'll just turn on my camera towards the end of the lecture if yeah, for once. All right, so let's get started then. All these notes that I'm referring to over here, they'll all be, I'll share that with you at the end of today's lecture. Even the recording will be shared with you. So you don't need to worry. If you want to jot down something now, you could, or you can just maybe pay attention, jot down things later. Okay. All right. So uh, before, again, just to recap the definition of conduction just once, right? So conduction is one example I like to use while explaining these terms is uh, so conduction is basically when heat is transferred from one point to another without the actual motion of the particles of the medium. Okay, that process is called as conduction. So heat is transferred from one place to another without using the particles of the medium. This takes place in solids, takes place in liquids and gases. So a good example I use for conduction is when imagine there's a plate of food, or there's some plates of food which need to go from the um, counter, okay, to the table where the customer is waiting, okay, from the chef's counter to the customer's table. And the way the food is transferred, okay, there could be three possibilities. One is you could have all the waiters stand in a line and they could just, way pass the parcel, okay, or you could have waiters physically going to the chef's counter and then bringing the plate to the table and then going back and forth, bringing plates one by one. Or you could have, like in a sushi counter, you could just have, um, you could have the chef basically toss food directly onto the customer's table or toss plates directly onto the customer's table. The first case where they're passing the parcel, that is like conduction. The waiters are like the molecules of the solid between the source and the destination, and they are taking energy. Basically, over here, they're taking food and passing to the next waiter till it reaches the table. Whereas in conduction, what happens is they take energy in this manner. Okay, this it takes energy from the source. Iska kinetic energy बढ़ता है, which collides with this guy, और उसका kinetic energy बढ़ता है, which collides with this guy, इसका kinetic energy बढ़ता है. And that's how in conduction energy is transferred down the chain. Convection is different. Convection में waiters, जैसा यहाँ पे waiter physically source और destination के बीच में जा रहा है, वैसे ही convection में the molecules of the medium physically pick up energy from there, go over here, deposit energy, come back, pick up energy, go over here, deposit energy. So that kind of mechanism takes place in convection. कन्वेक्शन का जस्ट बेसिक थोड़ा एग्जांपल तुम्हें जानना है. Conduct, which sir will take you through, but conduction and radiation are what are basically more important from your JEE perspective. Radiation में क्या है? Radiation में directly without any intermediary, directly food is thrown on the table. तो वैसे directly energy is transferred via light without needing any medium. And as you guys know, light really does not need any medium to propagate. If only medium slows it down, right? So light does not need any medium to propagate, which is why radiation can take place in all media. EM waves is another fancier word for light, via electromagnetic waves, via light. Okay, so radiation takes place in all media. Conduction takes place in solids, liquids, and gases. Convection cannot take place in solids because solid molecules cannot move about freely. So that takes place only in liquids and gases. That was a brief kind of introduction. We'll now continue with conduction. So what is the difference between convection and radiation? Convection, so convection needs a medium. Convection में waiter plate उठा के टेबल तक लेके जा रहा है. रेडिएशन में वेटर का जरूरत नहीं है, शेफ खुद प्लेट टेबल पे फेंक रहा है. मतलब कन्वेक्शन में मॉलिक्यूल्स ऑफ दिस मीडियम दे मूव अराउंड, दे pick up heat from the hot guy and deposit on the cold guy, again pick up heat from the hot guy, deposit on the cold guy. So the molecules of the medium are moving around. That is convection. They're moving in a cycle. Radiation mein there is no medium actually required. It can be there, it may not be there, but directly via electromagnetic waves without using medium particles, energy is transferred. That is radiation. All right. So brief recap. Now moving on, conduction in non-metallic solids and fluids. Conduction only takes place due to vibration of molecules. Therefore, they are poor conductors of heat. Okay. So you might have noticed that wood is not a very good conductor of heat, but you might have noticed that something like iron or metals in general happen to be better conductors of heat. Simple difference, the simple reason is non-metallic substances में we said कि vibration of molecules के कारण heat transfer हो रहा है. Okay, but in non-metallic solids, that's the only mechanism जिसके कारण transfer हो रहा है. Okay, due to vibration of molecules, conductance is taking place. However, there is an extra mechanism when you use metals. Metals में क्या advantage होता है? Metals में free electrons. Okay, as you know, metals have a pool of, or maybe you will learn soon in current electricity, metals will have a pool of free electrons. Okay, the valence electrons in a metal, they're loosely bound. So they're actually free to move along the length of the metal. Okay? So these free electrons, they're not bound to the atom. So they will physically carry the heat energy from the hot end to the cold end. In a way, thoda conduction की तरह है, sorry, convection की तरह है. Electrons are like those moving around waiters, but overall we still call it conduction. But इसमें वही है, those free electrons will carry energy from the hot end to the cold end, and that makes metals conduct heat faster. That's why metals are better conductors of heat, because of the free electrons. It's like, imagine the free electrons are like the waiters. One day they call their kids to work, and those kids are also running around transferring plates from the counter to the table. So the process of food transfer is taking place even faster. Waiters are passing the parcel, but those kids are also running around and helping out. Okay. If you guys have any doubts, anything you want to just ask, please don't hesitate to use the chat. All right. Okay, now let's look at conduction in a metallic rod. Okay, and we're going to start with, we are going to ensure that rods are, yeah, those who, if you want to write, you can write. If you want to write, you can write. Just be fast if you indeed want to write, and make sure it is not at the cost of paying attention and understanding the concept. If you want to write, please write. I don't know what practice your sir follows, so let's just try to continue whatever practice he's following. अच्छा, तो ये रॉड का हम साइड्स को इंसुलेट करेंगे, मतलब दैट्स अ वे ऑफ एंश्योरिंग कि साइड से कोई हीट लीक नहीं हो रहा है. ओके, तुम जब रेडिएशन पढ़ोगे यू विल रियलाइज कि हीट इज ऑलवेज some heat will always be radiated from the sides. So we are just in a way, we're trying to ignore that effect. So we are just going to insulate our sides to make sure that the sides do not give out heat. Okay, sides do not give out heat. Now what will happen in that case? तो मान लो ये एक रॉड है जिसका टेम्परेचर TC है, C is for cold, ठीक है, और इस राइट एंड का भी टेम्परेचर TC है, and I bring this rod in contact with an end जिसका टेम्परेचर TH है. Okay, what happens in the rod? So let's understand that. तो first and foremost क्या होगा, यहाँ पे टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस है, राइट? तो ये एंड इस रॉड को हीट देने की, रॉड के इस एंड को हीट देने की कोशिश करेगा. ओके, फिर क्या होगा, इसका जब तक ये दोनों सेम टेम्परेचर में है ना, this is not going to conduct heat to the other guy, right? They are at the same temperature. You need a temperature difference for heat to flow. तो पहले they were at the same temperature, so this is not passing on any heat to that guy. इसने इसको हीट दिया जिसके कारण इसका टेम्परेचर बढ़ा, इसका टेम्परेचर बढ़ने के बाद फिर ये इसको हीट देना स्टार्ट करेगा, फिर इसका टेम्परेचर बढ़ने लगेगा, जैसा इसका टेम्परेचर बढ़ा फिर ये इसको हीट देना स्टार्ट करेगा. सो दे विल ऑल सर्व देमसेल्व्स फर्स्ट. जो एनर्जी आ रहा है पहले स्टार्टिंग में एनर्जी खुद के लिए यूज करेंगे, अपना टेम्परेचर बढ़ाएंगे, फिर पास ऑन करेंगे. Okay, so this model is very similar to corruption. Imagine the government had to give money for the aid of these poor people over here, but there are these 4 corrupt middlemen. So what they do, as the government is giving money, ये पहले खुद थोड़ा खाएगा और फिर देना स्टार्ट करेगा, ये भी खुद थोड़ा खाएगा फिर देना स्टार्ट करेगा, ये भी खुद खाएगा फिर देना स्टार्ट करेगा, ये भी खुद खाएगा देना स्टार्ट करेगा. Okay, that's kind of what will happen. So let's just read and I'll come back to the examples. So as the rod transfers heat initially, thanks, each section taking heat from its neighbor. Okay, as the rod transfers heat initially, each section which is taking heat from its neighbor uses some of the heat thanks for that. And एक second, so but in the overall process won't the overall energy for the last part be less? Yes, Aditya, so I'll come to that. So just hold on, maybe not energy exactly, but we'll just hold on to that doubt, Aditya, and it'll all make sense soon. Okay, so क्या हो रहा है? As the rod transfers heat initially, each section taking heat from its neighbor uses some of the heat to raise its own temperature, corruption, ठीक है, and passes on the remaining heat. तो पहले खुद थोड़ा खाता है फिर देता है, ठीक है, passes on the remaining heat. ये होते रहता है till eventually. अब तुम ऐसा सोचो, अगर इसका टेम्परेचर 40 था, इसका नीचे वाले का, मान लो इसका टेम्परेचर 40 था और इसका टेम्परेचर 30 था, ठीक है, एंड नाउ है ना, your government is trying to pass on temperature to these guys, yeah, money to these guys. So if you think about it, ये पैसा खाना स्टार्ट करेगा, बट right, एक पॉइंट के बाद you don't see this dare to eat up more than what the government had, right? वो गवर्नमेंट से ज्यादा अमीर नहीं होगा, you'll try to maintain some kind of distance. Similarly, ये next middleman, उसका जूनियर, वो भी हर्षवर्धन will come to all of that. ठीक है, ये जो मिडिल मैन है वो भी थोड़ा पैसा खा रहा है, बट वो खा के उसके बॉस से ज्यादा पैसा नहीं खाएगा, उससे थोड़ा कम खाएगा. So if he sees that chalo boss has let's say his bank balance has reached 38 lakhs for instance, they will reach 36 lakhs, so I'll maintain a safe distance. ये बंदा भी हीट कर रहा है बट उसके बॉस की तरह उतना नहीं ले रहा है, उससे थोड़ा कम खा रहा है बट उससे थोड़ा कम मेंटेन कर रहा है. सिमिलरली सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. अब इसमें क्या होता है, एक पॉइंट के बाद लेट्स से दे हैव रीच्ड द प्लेस वेयर नाउ दे आर स्कैर्ड, दे आर लाइक चलो अब काफी खा लिया, अब और पैसा खाएंगे तो अब थोड़ा वी मे गेट कॉट. ठीक है, may not be true in the real world but at least in my example these guys have some shame. So एक पॉइंट के बाद खाने इतना पैसा खाने के बाद now they are a little scared and they don't want to risk more corruption, so now they don't want to risk eating more money. Okay, so they finally reach a state where abhi now they will do their job. They're like अच्छा अभी काफी खा लिया, ठीक है, सबने अच्छे से खा लिया, अब we'll do our job of being what, of being conductors. So now एक point के बाद they will just simply take what is given and they'll pass it on. Okay, once they've had their full, they're tired of eating, now they'll just pass it on. In at least my example this is happening. That is what is going to happen with the rod. As we said कि ये rods का ये points का temperature बढ़ते जाएगा, एक point के बाद ऐसा एक steady state आएगा, eventually a steady state is achieved where the temperature of each section remains constant. Okay, and as I mentioned that, let me clarify the difference between the word constant and uniform. It sounds like synonyms to laymen, but in physics and scientific terms they're not synonyms. Constant means same with respect to time, not changing over time. That is constant. This should not be confused with uniform, which means the same over space. Uniform मतलब हर जगह same, constant मतलब हर time same. ठीक है, so एक point के बाद the temperature distribution of each section will become constant. वो time के साथ बदलेगा नहीं. एक point के बाद ये 38 पे ही रुक जाएगा, वो 34 पे ही रुक जाएगा. So as you can see in my example नीचे, temperatures have become constant, not uniform. It's still different. Rod के along change हो रहा है temperature, गर्म से ठंडा हो रहा है. Just like if you hold a spoon in one edge of the spoon close to the flame, है ना, the part next to the flame is very hot. The part next to your hand is relatively cooler, right? So वैसा scene हो रहा है यहाँ पे. The left end, the part closer to the higher temperature is at a higher temperature. The part closer to the lower temperature is at a lower temperature. Temperatures changing along the rod. It's not uniform, but it is constant. इसके आगे it will not change with time. ऐसा का ऐसा रहेगा unless something else changes, unless these guys change. Okay, so at steady state, each section now only transfers heat. So they have had their full. ये सब खा के 30 से 38, 36, 34, 32 पहुंच गए. अब ये बस एक कंडक्टर का काम करेंगे. इसके आगे they are not going to further absorb or release any net energy. They do not absorb or release any net energy now. इसके आगे they just pass on the energy. They just pass on the energy. Now they will behave just like a pipe. Now they behave just like a pipe. ठीक है, क्योंकि क्या होगा, just to give you just as an example, अगर ये अब और खाते गए ना, मान लो ये 39 पहुंच गया, तो क्या होगा, ये हीट फ्लो का रेट और कम हो जाएगा, वीक हो जाएगा, because 40 से 39 the difference is not large enough now. So यहाँ से यहाँ जो हीट जा रहा है वो वीक हो जाएगा, but 39 to 36 is a big difference. तो यहाँ से यहाँ जो हीट जाएगा वो स्ट्रॉन्ग हो जाएगा. So the heat leaving this point will be more than the heat reaching this point, right? So what will happen if the heat leaving is more? It'll again cool down. So there is a kind of equilibrium going on over here, and each point on the rod, based on the shape of the rod and the material of the rod, each point of the rod will ultimately have an equilibrium temperature that they will attain, and that equilibrium temperature will decrease from the hot end to the cold end, to the cold end. Okay, I hope you've understood that. It cannot all be uniform, otherwise there'll be no heat flow in the rod. For heat to flow, there has to be a temperature difference. Okay? It's just like for water to flow. For water to flow, you need a constant height difference. तब यहाँ से यहाँ पानी flow करेगा अच्छे से. No, you can't just make something like this. I hope you get the idea. Okay? So for water to flow, you need a continuous height difference. So that's kind of the idea over here. Okay? For heat to flow, you need a continuous temperature difference. So temperature will keep decreasing. Now, steady state conceptually both important hai. You should always, because whenever they ask theoretical questions, you should reveal an understanding of steady state. You should understand what steady state is. You should understand till steady state ये अच्छा कंडक्टर का काम कर नहीं रहा था. जितना हीट दिया जा रहा था उतना निकल नहीं रहा है करप्शन के कारण. Okay? Okay? Eventually corruption गायब होता है. Eventually there is an equilibrium. Eventually equilibrium is attained. इसके आगे ये perfect conductor का काम करता है. Now all the temperatures are where they should be. इसके आगे whatever heat the hot body gives, that the cold that reaches the cold body. Understood? So eventually, after reaching an equilibrium, there is no longer any corruption. Now they just do a conductor's job. Each point will just transfer heat. So all further analysis that we'll be dealing with in heat transfer in a metallic object from one end to another, with sides insulated, will be once steady state has been established. इसके आगे जो भी formula देखेंगे, जो भी numerical करेंगे, that will all be after steady state is established. Every question, numerical question they ask you, they'll say, find this after steady state is attained. You'll always have that kind of language. Sometime will go in steady state being attained. Sometime will go in these points attaining the temperature they should have. उसके आगे वो conduction का काम करेगा. So steady state from a theoretical point of view is important. From a numerical point of view, हम इसके आगे ही कहानी start करेंगे. We'll only be focusing on what happens after steady state is achieved. Okay. एक मिनट शिवांश. Okay, thanks. Done. Moving on. Now, एक doubt पढ़ लेता हूँ. Sir, after reaching steady state, the heat will be completely transferred to the cold end, so that its temperature will rise, and after it achieves 32. Hey, so please understand. Okay. I think one thing I should clarify. ये जो मैं ये setup बोल रहा हूँ, I'm saying ये सब constant हो रहा है. That is assuming these temperatures are not changing. So you have to imagine that the cold guy is maintained at 30, the hot guy is maintained at 40. Okay? तो तब ये ऐसा scene दिख रहा है. Okay? Of course, if the cold guy is if it's a small object जिसका temperature is going to change, then accordingly you can expect, and then the hot guy also is a small object, then इसका भी temperature गिरते जाएगा, इसका भी बढ़ते जाएगा. Eventually हर जगह thermal equilibrium आ जाएगा. But we are just right now we're just assuming कि heat transfer is continuously taking place from the hot end to the cold end, and their temperatures are somehow maintained. Maybe they are large reservoirs. इनका temperature इतना easily change नहीं हो रहा है in spite of heat being transferred. So that's the basic example, basic model with which we are starting. As we develop, understand conduction more, we can even work with cases where TH and TC are changing time. But filal, let's start with a simpler case where they are constant. Okay. So now this is what the law of thermal conductivity states. Okay. So Imagine there is a thin slab जिसका क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया इज ए, एक एंड का टेम्परेचर इज TH, दूसरे एंड का टेम्परेचर इज TC, लेफ्ट एंड TH, राइट एंड TC. अब एक्स एक्सिस हम हमेशा हॉट एंड टू कोल्ड एंड लेते हैं. Okay, this is the convention. So x axis is taken in the direction of heat flow, and heat flows from hot end to the cold end. So since the x axis is taken in that manner, this is representing heat flow, by the way. This end of the thin slab is taken as x, and that end of the thin slab is taken as x plus dx coordinates. Left end x हो गया, right end का coordinates x plus dx हो गया. इसका thickness dx हो जाएगा. अच्छा, फिर उसी कन्वेंशन के हिसाब से यहाँ का टेम्परेचर अगर मैंने T लिखा, तो यहाँ का टेम्परेचर हम T plus dt लिखेंगे. Now some of you may say, sir, T minus dt होना चाहिए क्योंकि टेम्परेचर कम हो रहा है वगैरह. That's right, टेम्परेचर indeed कम हो रहा है. X axis के along heat flow के डायरेक्शन में टेम्परेचर कम होगा. But bear in mind that dt is basically change. dt represents change in temperature while moving along the x axis. It is the change in temperature because of this change in x coordinate. So dt, if you're increasing x, changing x by dx, you'll always change t by positive dt. dt itself could be negative or positive depending on the case. Like in this case, we know ये temperature कम है, तो dt अपने आप negative होने वाला है. Okay, dt represents change. The change is negative as I move along the x-axis. Okay. All right. Now, ये rate law क्या बोलता है? देखो, the rate of heat flow. Rate of heat flow. What does that mean? dq by dt. Heat flow. थोड़ा सा heat, मान लो छोटे से time interval dt time interval में the heat flowing across this cross section is dq. The rate of heat flow becomes dq by dt. That is called as heat current. Okay, it's given the name heat current and is represented by the symbol I, similar to your electrical current. And you will see why we are calling it as a type of current. Okay, so this is called as heat current, which is basically rate of heat flow dq by dt. This is found to be proportional to the cross-sectional area of the slab. It is found to be proportional to the cross-sectional area of the slab. Is found to be proportional to A. It's also found to be proportional to the temperature difference. Okay, is found to be proportional to the temperature difference. अब temperature difference actually क्या है? Hot temperature minus cold temperature. So it's T minus T plus dt. Subtract करोगे तो minus dt is the temperature difference. Bear in mind dt could negative है, making minus dt a positive term. Okay, that just looks weird, but that's because of the convention. But basically it's proportional to the temperature difference. As you can understand, a bigger area will allow more heat to flow. Hence heat conduction increases with area. Greater temperature difference means a bigger drive. Jada temperature difference, मतलब more desperation for heat to go from the hotter body to the colder body. So उसके भी proportional होगा rate of heat flow, temperature difference के proportional. And फिर it's also inversely proportional to the length of the slab. It's inversely proportional to the length of the slab. So again, for you to understand inversely proportional to the length of the slab, you should basically take these two to be constant. So imagine if you have 100 degrees Celsius और एक 0 degrees Celsius, ऐसे दो ends हैं, and you have rods of similar thickness, but you have a very narrow rod, and then you have a 1 kilometer long rod. किसमें heat is going to flow more desperately? ये 1 किलोमीटर रॉड के एक एंड में 100 है, दूसरे एंड में 0 है, उनको मुश्किल से पता भी चलेगा कि टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस है. बट एक 1 मिलीमीटर रॉड में एक एंड 100 डिग्री सेल्सियस पे है, दूसरा एंड 0 पे है, there is a drastic temperature gradient, right? There's a drastic temperature difference over a very short length. यहाँ पे very nice, यहाँ पे narrow वाले में it's going to flow very desperately from the hot end to the cold end. So यहाँ पे heat flow is going to be faster as compared to a 1 kilometer rod, right? So that's the idea. So this is just to give you an idea of why your heat flow is inversely proportional to the length of the slab. Okay, the closer the hot and cold points are, the faster or the more heat flow you will observe. That's the basic idea. So when we put these three, yeah, you can also in a way look at it that way, ki longer rod in that sense then restricts flow of heat. Same temperature gradient over a longer rod, you will find slower heat flow. So now with putting all these three together, our heat current represented as dq by dt is proportional to area, proportional to temperature difference, inversely proportional to the length of the slab, which is dx, right? And with all of that, if you put a constant of proportionality, then you can say dq by dt is minus a dt by dx into a constant of proportionality called as k, where k, as we'll see on the next page, is defined as the coefficient of thermal conductivity. Just allow me to erase this. So k is defined as the coefficient of thermal conductivity. तो यहाँ से तुम्हारा एक equation आ जाता है for thermal conduction along a linear rod. Okay. Now, again, guys, if you have any doubts, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay. If I don't hear any doubts, I'll just assume I can keep moving on. So, before going further, let us understand the term dt by dx. So dt by dx. So in the diagram, could I mention the exact location of TC? Okay, so TC is actually, so this is a slab. TC, ये end का temperature है. TC is this. और TH, वो end का temperature. TH is T. Got it? TC is temperature of the right. It's like a brick. नहीं, sorry, नहीं, vertices mark नहीं कर रहा हूँ. It's a brick. Brick जैसा है. यहाँ से left से right heat flow हो रहा है. ठीक है? कोई भी एक क्रॉस सेक्शन में टेम्परेचर यूनिफॉर्म रहेगा. एक क्रॉस सेक्शन में टेम्परेचर यूनिफॉर्म रहेगा. तो राइट मोस्ट क्रॉस सेक्शन का टेम्परेचर टीसी था, लेफ्ट मोस्ट क्रॉस सेक्शन का टेम्परेचर टीएच था. ऑलराइट. अब dt by dx is what we call as temperature gradient. Okay, gradient in a way refers to slope. Gradient in a way describes how fast something changes over distance. Like if a hill has smaller gradient, the hill is less steep. If the hill has a high gradient, it just means it's more steep. मतलब हाइट काफी तेजी से बढ़ रहा है हॉरिजॉन्टली मूव करने में. तो टेम्परेचर ग्रेडियंट भी वैसा ही कुछ है. एक्स एक्सिस के लॉन्ग मूव करने में टेम्परेचर कितना तेजी से चेंज होता है, दैट इज योर टेम्परेचर ग्रेडियंट. So temperature gradient is dt by dx, rate at which temperature changes as we move along the x-axis, as we move from the hot end to the cold end. Okay, so basically t versus x का जो भी ग्राफ होगा, फिलहाल मैंने straight draw किया है. If everything is uniform, you'd expect this to be a straight rod. ठीक है, तो वो जो भी ग्राफ है, वो ग्राफ का slope at any point gives you dt by dx. The temperature versus x, as I move along the x-axis, temperature घटेगा. Hot से cold ऐसा घटेगा. ठीक है, अब वो straight होगा if everything is uniform. If it's a uniform rod, straight होगा. But if it's something funnier, then the curve could be, it could be a curve as well. But nonetheless, temperature gradient will be the dt by dx. It will be the slope of the graph at any point. Okay, and it will always be negative. because heat is flowing along the x-axis. Heat के flow के direction में temperature हमेशा कम होना चाहिए as you move ahead. Okay, so dt by dx will always be negative. Now, what I was saying is, if the area and k, just a second, 1 second. Sorry. So what I was saying is, if the area and K are uniform, if the area and the thermal conductivity, what's the value of K? So it depends on the material. K का value आगे अब K पे भी वापस आ जाऊंगा. K depends on the material. Some materials are better conducting, some are less. Like we can expect metals का K to be more, non-metals का K to be less. Okay? So if the area and the K are uniform, मतलब मटेरियल सेम रखा, रॉड का क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया सेम रखा, एंड यूनिफॉर्म का मतलब रॉड का पूरा लेंथ, यूनिफॉर्म मींस ओवर स्पेस, so across the entire length of the rod, if these don't change, then एक तो T versus X will be a straight line in that case, because फिर एक तो dq by dt भी यूनिफॉर्म होगा, dq by dt subsequent सेगमेंट्स के लिए यूनिफॉर्म होगा, क्योंकि जिस रेट पे हीट एंटर कर रहा है उस रेट पे हीट निकल रहा है, राइट? इफ आई टेक सब्सिक्वेंट सेक्शन, सब्सिक्वेंट ब्रिक्स, ओके, सब्सिक्वेंट एलिमेंट्स, dq by dt सबके थ्रू सेम होगा, राइट? बिकॉज एक जगह से एंटर कर रहा है, निकल रहा है, देयर इज नो करप्शन एनी मोर, तो dq by dt सेम है. फिर और कौन सेम है? एरिया सेम है, k सेम है हर एलिमेंट के लिए. तो क्या बच गया? अगर तुम पिछला इक्वेशन देखोगे, dq by dt, k और a अगर सबके लिए सेम है तो dt by dx ही रह गया, वो भी सबके लिए सेम होना पड़ेगा. dt by dx सेम होने का मतलब क्या है? सबका सेम ग्रेडियंट होगा. So if I have a uniform rod, k and a are the same, dq by dt is the same through each subsequent element, so dt by dx is also the same. dt by dx same होने का मतलब gradient for each element is the same, slope throughout is the same. That's what makes this graph a straight line. So temperature versus x will be a straight line when if I have a uniform rod. In other cases, अगर area धीरे धीरे बढ़ते जा रहा है या material for some reason change होते जा रहा है, then this will not be true. Okay, this will not be true. Now, in that situation, and more often than not, we'll at least start by working with uniform rods. So in that situation, dt by dx, since is the same throughout, can also be written as delta t by l. अगर हर जगह स्लोप सेम है तो इंस्टेंट स्ट्रेट लाइन हो गया, मतलब स्लोप ऐसा इंस्टेंटेनियस स्लोप निकालने की जगह तुम पूरा लाइन का स्लोप निकाल दो. पूरा लाइन का स्लोप क्या देगा? डेल्टा, टोटल टेम्परेचर चेंज अपॉन टोटल एक्स चेंज. तो dt will be delta t पूरा इसके लिए, dx will be l. You're moving along the rod, right? So x will change by l. L is the length of the rod. So dt by dx in the previous formula for a uniform rod alone can be replaced by delta t by l. और delta t भी थोड़ा ध्यान से लिखो, है ना? Remember, this is change as we move along the rod. The delta t is technically Tc minus Th. Tc minus Th. ठीक है? ये पॉइंट का टेम्परेचर माइनस वो पॉइंट का टेम्परेचर. ठीक है? ये यहाँ पे कोई डाउट है before I move on? Let's just try to erase that yellow. Perfect. All right. So अभी with that, okay. So एक चीज हमने देखा dt by dx के बारे में समझ में आ गया कि that allows me to, if the rod is uniform, then I can write dt by dx as delta t by l. But in all cases, dt by dx will be negative because dx strictly means moving along the x-axis. The change in x is dx. As I move along the x-axis, what is the change in temperature I observe. X-axis is from hot to cold. So if I'm moving from hot to cold, I will observe a drop in temperature. It's as simple as that. If heat is being conducted, it should always be moving from hot to cold, right? So therefore, you'll always observe a drop in temperature. So dt by dx हमेशा negative, हमेशा negative. Okay. So thermal conductivity, again, just briefly mentioning what thermal conductivity is before we revisit the equation. Thermal conductivity depends on the material. Somebody is asking, and it's higher for better conductors. जितना अच्छा conductor, उतना conducting, उतना ज़्यादा conductivity. Very simple. It's a measure of how good a conductor of heat that material is. ज़्यादा के ज़्यादा better conductor of heat. ये इक्वेशन जो है वो इक्वेशन से तुम्हें दिख जाएगा कि K का SI यूनिट्स इज ये वॉट हो गया, dq by dt इज वॉट, ठीक है, पावर एनर्जी बाय टाइम वॉट, फिर यहाँ पे एरिया मीटर स्क्वायर हो गया और ये मीटर हो गया, तो मीटर स्क्वायर बाय मीटर ये मीटर हो जाएगा, ठीक है, और वो नीचे जाएगा तो वॉट बाय मीटर, और टेम्परेचर भी नीचे जाएगा तो वॉट बाय मीटर डिग्री सेल्सियस या वॉट बाय मीटर केल्विन. These are the SI units of thermal conductivity, and I hope you guys understand that both these units are the same, right? Because I hope you don't think one is to be converted into the other using 273, because ये जो यूनिट आ रहा है वो टेम्परेचर चेंज के कारण आ रहा है, dt का यूनिट है. टेम्परेचर चेंज केल्विन में और सेल्सियस में सेम रेट से चेंज होता है. सेल्सियस स्केल में एक यूनिट ऊपर जाओ तो केल्विन में भी एक यूनिट ही ऊपर जाओगे. तो फॉर टेम्परेचर चेंज केल्विन एंड सेल्सियस आर द सेम यूनिट्स. Okay, so therefore these two units are exactly the same. Please don't get confused if they use, you know, the other one. They're both basically the same. K, if K is 0, you have an ideal insulator. Okay. Is K equal to 0 possible? I've not really tracked down that thing. I mean, maybe just the material by itself, it's very difficult for its molecules to not vibrate and not conduct heat. So I would say it's quite difficult for just the simple material ka K to be 0. But maybe, you know, with smarter designs, you can, by combining different things together, you can engineer materials where K is very, 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 very small. Okay. So, or it could be possible also that there are certain materials in the K is very, very small. I don't know if exact 0 is strictly an option, because if there is a temperature difference, heat will flow, and thoda to conduction वगैरह होना चाहिए. So however, the idea over here is, we're not going to break our heads over whether exact 0 is possible, but an ideal insulator would be one where K tends to 0, okay? And an ideal conductor would be one where K tends to infinity. Basically, it conducts really fast. Okay? Ideal conductor mein, it's going to conduct really fast. If there is a temperature difference across it, large heat is going to flow. And then the idea is that eventually there will be, very quickly, there will be no temperature difference across the rod. So dt K agar infinite hai na, तो very jaldi वो काफी तेजी से dt 0 हो जाएगा. So somehow the temperatures of the ends should ideally change and become equal. Anyways, so ideal conductor would be one with a very large K value. Putting everything together, we'll revisit our general formula. This is the formula for conduction. dq by dt is minus Ka dt by dx. This formula is always true. You can always use this one. Okay, this is the actual formula. Now, एक special case होगा. Special case ये है, मान लो रॉड के एंड्स के अक्रॉस टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस कांस्टेंट है. ठीक है, स्टेडी स्टेट, ये तो एनीवे स्टेडी स्टेट अचीव होने के बाद ही बात करते हैं. All analysis is after steady state. But if the temperature difference across the rods are not constant, then we'll expect dq by dt to keep changing, dt by dx will keep changing, right? However, if the temperature difference across the ends, hot and cold का temperature maintain किया, then we'll expect कि एक बार steady state achieve हो गया, this dq by dt should not change. Rate of flow of heat should be constant if I'm somehow maintaining the temperatures. So if dq by dt is constant, you can write it as delta q by delta t. Very obvious idea. You can write instantaneous heat transferred as average heat transferred, total heat transferred upon total time taken. Okay, so you can do that. You can write instantaneous power as average power. Okay, so dq by dt can be written as delta q by delta t if it's transferring at a constant rate. कब constant rate पे करेगा? अगर temperature surroundings का change नहीं होगा. Okay? That's the only thing which can suddenly change. Material का K और area वगैरह, they won't change in the middle of the conduction. Okay? But this surroundings का temperature वो change हो सकता था, अगर वो तुम change नहीं करोगे, TH TC को change नहीं करोगे, this will take place at a constant rate. फिर तो that allows me to write an equation like this. Okay, dq by dt can be written as delta q by delta t. Moreover, अगर temperature gradient uniform है, अच्छा टेम्परेचर ग्रेडियंट क्यों यूनिफॉर्म रहेगा ये मैंने पहले बताया. कब यूनिफॉर्म रहेगा? जब रॉड का मटेरियल चेंज नहीं होता है, के सेम है थ्रू आउट, और जब एरिया सेम है थ्रू आउट. So if k and a are the same throughout each element, and this is also anyways the same throughout each subsequent element, तब dt by dx will be uniform. तब हम लिख सकते हैं delta t by l. So we already spent time in this, and you can write dt by dx is delta t by l, and that's why sometimes you see this equation. But understand, this equation is for a uniform rod, जिसके ends के temperatures are maintained as constant. उसके लिए ये equation. And इसमें that minus sign will look a little disturbing at first, but bear in mind, वो minus sign इसके लिए है. This guy is negative. Delta t is Tc minus Th. Okay, it's temperature difference as we move in the direction of heat flow. वो negative है, वो negative negative मिलके ये positive हो जाता है. बाकी सारे के सारे terms positive. Heat flow positive है, हो रहा है hot से cold हमेशा. Area, length, K, these are all positive. All right, all clear? So I have a small doubt. dt can be positive in एक second. Sir, in temperature constant, पहले तो एक चीज है, temperature difference constant अगर है, rod can be uniform. हाँ, so that's so temperature अच्छा, I think I got a question now. ये तो तुम्हारे ऊपर है, temperature difference constant होना नहीं होना is an independent thing, और rod का shape uniform होना नहीं होना is a different thing. But I think what you're trying to say is I think now I understand. So अगर rod uniform होगा, delta t by l, dt by dx can be written as delta t by l. Okay, so if the rod is uniform, replace dt by dx by delta t by l. If the temperature difference across the ends is constant, you can replace dq by dt with delta q by delta t. And if both go together, of course, you can make both the changes. Okay, this term is necessary. This term will be true when the rod is uniform. So if the area is not changing or if the material is not changing. And this could be written if temperature difference across the ends is maintained. And एक और student का कुछ एक doubt था. Sir, I have a small doubt. dt can be positive, right, in refrigerators. So I think I'm not sure what you're really picturing, but if this is your refrigerator, cold के कारण heat जा रहा है hot की तरफ, so please understand my x-axis will be ulta. X-axis always hot to cold. Heat transfer will also be ulta. Your food item is giving heat to the refrigerator. If at all, it's doing that via conduction. सो एक्स एक्सिस ही उल्टा होगा और इस डायरेक्शन में डेल्टा टी नेगेटिव ही होगा. So x axis is in the direction of heat flow, and you can think whatever case you take in the direction of heat flow, there has to be a drop. All right, and that is just the convention. I mean, you can sometimes while solving you can ignore all of this. ये बस है ना, you see an equation like this and you think अरे minus sign क्यों डाला है उन्होंने. It's for that. माइनस साइन डाला क्योंकि ये बंदा नेगेटिव है. माइनस साइन डाला क्योंकि ये नेगेटिव है. That's why officially there is a minus sign. It's just for you guys to understand that. Okay. Abhi, let me be very frank. All of conduction is going to actually be very easy for you guys by the time you give, especially by the time you, abhi bhi easy ho jayega, you'll see. But by the time you give your advanced exam, right, this is not even going to be a topic you will feel like revising. And I'll tell you why. Because you'll find that this topic is very similar to another topic called as current electricity, which you will be doing in detail. Okay, current electricity by far is a more important chapter. तुम काफी time spend करोगे, काफी circuits, काफी sum solve करोगे current electricity का, and there is a lot of similarity between the equations of current electricity and the terms of current electricity and the terms in conduction. So in fact, most students don't even revise conduction because they're so well versed with current electricity. They just know कि अच्छा current electricity और conduction के बीच में कैसे मुझे convert करना है एक concept से दूसरा concept. और अगर conduction का सवाल आता है वो current electricity का knowledge use करके conduction का सवाल करते हैं. That's kind of the idea. Now, unfortunately for you guys, I think we are doing this chapter before current electricity. If you would have done it after current electricity, we wouldn't even have to solve anything as such, because you'd be pros in this chapter even before learning this chapter. But current electricity तुम्हारा इस बार बाद में होगा और conduction पहले हो रहा है. फिर भी I am quite confident कि the knowledge you already have of current electricity, which is what Ohm's law आता है सबको, and सबको पता है resistors series और parallel में add कैसे होता है ना, उतना knowledge भी more or less काफी है to put you in a good place for understanding conduction. उसमें एक दो कुछ extra चीज होगा current electricity का, वो भी मैं इधर समझा दूंगा. ठीक है, but let's now see why these two are very similar and why will our knowledge of conduction, electrical conduction, help us in heat conduction. So I made two columns. The right hand side is EC for electrical conduction, या current electricity. The left hand side is HP for heat transfer, यानी कि अपना heat वाला conduction. Okay, and let's see the similarities. So first thing is current का definition होता है dq छोटा q by dt. Electrical current का, it should be specific at least over here. Small q is charge, and current is defined as the rate of flow of charge. As simple as that. You have an analogous concept over here. D capital Q by dt. What does THTC stand for? Okay, so TH, if I didn't mention it, H was for hot and C was for cold. I'm sorry about that. TH just meant hot end ka temperature. TC matlab cold end ka temperature. Okay. So D capital Q by dt, where Q, capital Q is heat, is the rate of flow of heat. And इसको मैंने नाम दिया था heat current. And now I hope you can see why I gave it the name as current, because this is striking similarity. One was the rate of flow of charge. This is the rate of flow of heat. So very similar in that way. Okay, so this is called as heat current. फिर उसके आगे potential difference in circuits, electrical circuits. It's the potential difference which actually drives the charge. Potential difference के कारण charge एक तरफ से दूसरी तरफ जाता है. ठीक है, पॉजिटिव चार्ज हायर पोटेंशियल से लोअर पोटेंशियल की तरफ जाने की कोशिश करता है, तो वो वैसा होता है. सो पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस इज द ड्राइविंग फैक्टर. यहाँ पे हीट फ्लो के लिए who's a driving factor? Right, a temperature difference. ठीक है, and what is the temperature difference? Hot temperature minus cold temperature, जिसको मैं माइनस डेल्टा टी लिख रहा हूँ. रिमेंबर डेल्टा टी इज एक्चुअली टीसी माइनस टी एच, वो खुद नेगेटिव है इसलिए माइनस साइन डाल रहे हैं सिर्फ कन्वेंशन के कारण. बट अदरवाइज व्हाटएवर, टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस इज द ड्राइविंग फैक्टर. दिस इज लाइक द पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस इन करंट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. और क्या सिमिलैरिटी? अच्छा, करंट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी में यू माइट हैव हर्ड ऑफ टर्म्स कॉल्ड एज इलेक्ट्रिकल कंडक्टिविटी, ठीक है, एंड electrical resistivity, right? And remember R is rho L by A. So rho is electrical resistivity. It tells you material कितना resistive है. Before geometry comes into play, material खुद कितना resistive है in that sense. And conductivity उसका reciprocal है. Material खुद कितना conductive है. Okay? So and they are reciprocals of each other. यहाँ पे भी वैसे ही similarity है. यहाँ पे इलेक्ट्रिकल कंडक्टिविटी के जैसा अपना थर्मल कंडक्टिविटी है. ओके, टेल्स यू मटेरियल कितना कंडक्टिव है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू हीट, एंड उसका रेसिप्रोकल हो गया थर्मल रेजिस्टिविटी. एंड थर्मल रेजिस्टिविटी रो लिख सकते हो चाहिए तो, बट इट इज बेसिकली व्हाट इट्स, यू कैन जस्ट स्टिक टू द सेम सिंबल, इट्स 1/k. तो यहाँ पे हु इज प्लेइंग द रोल ऑफ रेजिस्टिविटी? 1/k. तो रेजिस्टेंस का फॉर्मूला में एज यू आर फेमिलियर विद रो, वैसे यहाँ पे यू कैन बी फेमिलियर विद 1/k behaving like rho. Okay. Similarities go on. If I, what does the symbol at the bottom mean? Are you referring to this one? ये वाला left hand side या right hand side? Okay. Rho is basically a Greek alphabet. Looks somewhat like that. If I have to, not sure if I'm typing it right. So this is what rho looks like in print. That's basically a Greek alphabet. Rho stands for resistivity. जो तुमने, it talks about how resistive a material is. तो जो तुमने current electricity में स्कूल के वक्त एटलीस्ट देखा होगा, रेजिस्टेंस का फॉर्मूला होता है rho L by A. So this is that rho. Okay. हाँ, it's the same symbol as used for density. Okay. Same symbol that you use for density. वही alphabet. Okay. So बस that's it. ठीक है, ये कंडक्टिविटी के है तो इसका रेजिस्टिविटी 1/k है. तो ऑल आई एम सेइंग इज इसका रेजिस्टिविटी इज लाइक रो इन current electricity. 1/k is like rho in current electricity. What do I do with that? I can now define a thermal resistance. Each rod can be treated like a resistor. Okay, each rod used for conducting heat is basically like a resistor. Like you have electrical resistance, जिसका फॉर्मूला होता है R is rho L by A, वैसे ही you have thermal resistance, जिसका फॉर्मूला होता है R is, अब रो के जगह रो को नीचे ले लो तो कंडक्टिविटी बनेगा K, तो R is L by KA, रो की जगह 1/k है. That's the only difference. But this is what the effective resistance of a conducting rod will be. Okay, so far it must look ki it seems like these are just okay interesting similarities. अच्छा ये दोनों same है, नहीं, it's beyond that. The actual fundamental equation that drives both these concepts is the same. क्यों? Current electricity में the fundamental equation, the way all these terms tie together is V is equal to IR. Potential difference is current into resistance. Believe it or not, यहाँ पे same equation है. You have the same equation. This equation that we already saw is a type of Ohm's law applied in current electricity. कैसे? इसी equation में L by KA ये जो अपना इक्वेशन है जो ऑलरेडी हमने देखा था, L by KA को मतलब KA by L को उस तरफ ले लो, DQ by DT के साइड ले लो, तो उसको उधर लोगे तो हो जाएगा DQ by DT into L upon KA is minus delta T. Okay, just rearranging the rate law equation. Check for yourself, this is exactly Ohm's law. Minus delta T was like potential difference. DQ by DT is like current, electrical current, and L by KA is like resistance. V equal to IR बिल्कुल Ohm's law की तरह है, जिसके कारण our conclusion now is these two are so similar कि if I know to solve circuits, if I know certain theorems in current electricity, I will have the same theorems applicable in heat transfer, in conduction. क्यों ही फर्क होगा? अंडरलाइंग इक्वेशन ही सेम है. तो अगर मुझे रेजिस्टर्स इन सीरीज का कोई फॉर्मूला पता है, तो थर्मल रेजिस्टर्स इन सीरीज का सेम फॉर्मूला होगा. There is no difference, right? It's the same equation. It's Ohm's law. It just has a bunch of different symbols and different names. The equation is fundamentally, essentially the same. Right? It just represents different physical phenomena, but the equation is the same. So therefore, now let's use some of the knowledge we have of current electricity to get results for conduction. So let's start with before I come to that, I just want to conceal one thing. Okay. Yeah. So let's start with थोड़ा सा lag है. I think. Let me just wait for the screen to load. Last page देख लो. और जब हो गया तो जिसने भी whoever brought me here just say done. Okay, great. अब देखो resistors in series. Yeah. All right, resistors in series. So what is the result we know? We know कि if I have resistors in series, the equivalent resistance is the addition of सबका resistance, right? R equivalent is R1 plus R2 and so on and so forth. तो यहाँ पे rods in series अगर रहेगा तो same result use कर सकते हैं. Equivalent resistance for rods in series is पहला rod का resistance R is L by KA, रो ऊपर की जगह नीचे K है, plus L2 by KA2, so on and so forth. Right? No need to, I mean, of course, you'll spend time proving this in current electricity, but I mean, that's the idea. Once you have results in current electricity, you can just borrow those same results for heat transfer if you need to. If you have resistors in parallel, we know in current electricity that 1 by R equivalent is 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus so on and so forth. Similarly, for rods in parallel, you can say कि यहाँ पे क्या basically resistance का equivalent resistance का reciprocal यानी K by L equivalent is R1 का reciprocal K1A1 by L1 plus K2A2 by L2 and so on and so forth. So because of the similarity, we are able to take results already known in current electricity and apply them over here. Okay. You spend a lot more time in current electricity, so you will do these proofs there. They're not difficult. You'll do these proofs there. But we're just right now just borrowing from that. And more than the proof, what I'd at least like to make quite clear is whether we guys understand what series and parallel mean. So can you answer these two questions? ऊपर question है. I've drawn a diagram and you can tell me the first one. So let's start with the first one. Okay, ऊपर वाला diagram. Are the two resistors in series or are they in parallel? So एक बार फर्स्ट वाले का आंसर सबका सुनते हैं. Okay. और अब दूसरे वाले का आंसर बता दो. Are the next two, is the second one in parallel या series? A lot of answers coming in at different times, so I can't individually acknowledge, but looking at your answers, I'm getting the feeling that at least 70 to 80% of you are correct. No, sorry. Yeah, I think 70 to 80% of you are correct. Okay, so I'll tell you where the confusion is coming in. So, ये बहुत ध्यान से सुनो. Okay? The answer for both questions, the way I've asked them, like, is the first one in series? Believe it or not, it's yes. And is the second one in parallel? The answer for that is also yes. Okay. So I think 60 to 70% of the people got it right. The ones who got it wrong, let's get this very clear. There's no harm, nothing to be embarrassed about, but let's understand this quite clearly. Series and parallel, you need to check with yourself, is your understanding of series and parallel this? Maybe your school taught you that way, or they drew things that way, or maybe you just made some assumptions. But check if your understanding is this. A lot of you, some of you thought that this was in series because this appears like it's in series. Ek ke baad ek line mein dikh raha hai. And some of you thought that this was in parallel because these appear to be placed on parallel lines. Let me warn you, that is not the definition of series and parallel. That has nothing to do with the definition of series and parallel. Geometric placement absolutely does not matter. ये resistance को इधर के जगह इधर डालो या इधर डालो, accordingly it does not change. Okay, this resistor, if it's, you will not call it series because it's placed over there. You will not make up a new word and say it's in perpendicular because it's placed over here. ऐसा नहीं होता. It's not in series or parallel because the lines appear to be in series or in parallel. It has nothing to do with the geometrical placement. Series का definition, at least सब लोग ये अभी अच्छे से समझ लो. Series का definition है कि current should be the same through them. Series मतलब एक के बाद एक, तो current दोनों के through same होना चाहिए. और current same कब होगा? If there is no branching out in between. अगर यहाँ से एक ब्रांच तुम्हें निकलता हुआ नहीं दिखा ना, निकलता हुआ दिखा तो ऐसा तुम बोल नहीं सकते कि दोनों में करंट सेम होगा. बट अगर ब्रांच दिखा नहीं, in the same path, in this without any branching out, you see the next resistor, that means these are coming one after the other. जो करंट पहले वाले से गया वही दूसरे वाले से जाएगा. That is the definition of the resistors being in series. The current should be the same through both. Okay. Definition of these two resistors being in parallel. So they are not in series because just because, I mean, you won't say they're in series because they appear to be along the same line. Okay. Geometry does not matter. So what is the real way we decide whether they are in series or parallel? So parallel का definition होता है, parallel का definition होता है कि potential difference must be the same. Potential difference must be the same. तो अगर तुम ध्यान से इसको देखोगे, इसका एक एंड यहाँ पे है और दूसरा एंड उससे अटैच्ड है. मतलब इस रेजिस्टर के अक्रॉस वही पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस है जो इस बैटरी के अक्रॉस है. ओके, ये दूसरा रेजिस्टर ले लो, उसका भी एक एंड यहाँ पे है, दूसरा एंड वहां से अटैच्ड है. वो दूसरा रेजिस्टर के अक्रॉस भी, हाँ, दूसरा रेजिस्टर के अक्रॉस भी वही पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस है जो बैटरी के अक्रॉस है. सो बोथ हैव द सेम एंड्स. Both therefore have the same potential differences between those ends. Okay, that is the definition for parallel. Why they are not in series? Because पहले तो branching, there is no way कि यार इससे जो current जाएगा वही current उसके through exactly, मतलब वही current उसके through जा रहा है, नहीं. Right, this current is going to, there's a branch in the middle, so they are not really in the same branch. Therefore you will not say that they are in series. Okay, it's not the same current going through the other one. Why are they in parallel? वापस समझा रहा हूँ. Parallel का definition होता है potential difference must be the same. तो देखो simple सी बात है, मान लो ये पॉइंट का पोटेंशियल ए है, ये पॉइंट का पोटेंशियल बी है, और इनके अक्रॉस पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस क्या है, जो बैटरी का है, बैटरी के कारण देयर इज अ पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस बिटवीन ए एंड बी. Now, as long as there is no resistor, there's no potential difference, right? We assume that these wires have no resistance. So if they have no resistance, that means R0 तो V0 है. तो यहाँ से यहाँ potential change नहीं हो रहा था. यहाँ पे potential A है, यहाँ पे potential A है. Because along the wire, as long as there's no resistance, we'll use a different color. So A, D. So now you can see कि ये resistor के across वही potential difference है जो बैटरी के अक्रॉस है, ये रेजिस्टर के अक्रॉस भी वही पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस है जो बैटरी के अक्रॉस है. व्हेन यू सी दैट, व्हेन दे आर हैविंग द सेम पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस, व्हिच विल बी व्हेन देयर एंड्स आर कनेक्टेड टू द सेम पॉइंट्स, both resistors का एक end is connected to A and एक end is connected to B. When that happens, then they are in parallel. It does not matter if I draw this resistor here and that resistor there. As long as their ends are the same, they will be in parallel, as long as the potential difference is the same. हाँ, यहाँ पे and they are not in series because yes, current is getting split. यहाँ से जो करंट जा रहा है, वहां से जो करंट आ रहा है, वो अलग है. In the sense कि it's not this same current which is flowing into that guy. ये दोनों मिलके फिर यहाँ से exit कर रहे हैं. Okay, so it's as long as there is a branching in the middle, you will not say they are in series. Okay, जैसे ही यहाँ से ये निकलते हुए दिखा ना, तुम सीरीज नहीं बोलोगे. सीरीज के लिए they should lie in one uninterrupted branch. Okay, got this? Yes, there is a continuous path of current. You can say that. In series, there's a continuous path of current, no branching out in between. तो क्या बोल रहा है, पैरेलल वी कैन से करंट फ्लोज. यार वैसा मत बोलो यार, थोड़ा मुझे भी आई एम नॉट एबल टू गो फ्रॉम करंट फ्लो इज रिस्ट्रिक्टेड टू कांस्टेंट पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस. So I mean, don't make statements from which you can directly, from which it's not easy to conclude what the main point is. Main point for series was, of course, that it's the same current. Main point for parallel is it's the same potential difference. That's essentially what matters. When you have resistors in parallel, you have the same potential difference across those resistors. That is the definition of parallel. Don't look at geometry. Okay? In fact, we'll intentionally deceive you with the geometry in current electricity at least. Don't look at geometry. All right. अब यहाँ पे देखो, सीरीज को थोड़ा और समझते हैं. सीरीज में करंट सेम होता है, इसका फिर इससे क्या फायदा होता है? तो करंट सेम होता है, देन वी अंडरस्टैंड कि अच्छा ओम्स लॉ इज वैलिड. इफ करंट इज द सेम and Ohm's law is valid, then V equal to IR में V ends up being proportional to R. So current same होने का मतलब potential difference is proportional to resistance. अब देखो इससे कैसे सवाल कर सकते हैं. मैं एक सिंपल एग्जांपल करूंगा ये साइड पे, और फिर तुमसे एक सिमिलर स्लाइटली बेटर एग्जांपल करवाऊंगा कंडक्शन में. फंडा देखो, मान लो मुझे जानना था कि इस जंक्शन का टेम्परेचर क्या, पोटेंशियल क्या होगा. तो मुझे पता है कि एक तरफ 10 वोल्ट है, दूसरा तरफ 0 वोल्ट है, और बीच में दो रेजिस्टर्स हैं, 2 ohms and 3 ohms, and they are in series. There's no branching out. Okay, so what is the potential at this junction? So how will we do this? देखो फंडा क्या है, यहाँ से यहाँ टोटल पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस कितना है, 10. What do I know about resistors in series? That the potential difference is proportional to R. अच्छा, फिलहाल मुझे पता नहीं इनके अक्रॉस कितना पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस है, बट आई नो कि दे हैव टू ऐड अप टू 10, राइट? 2 ohm and 3 ohm के अक्रॉस पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस एड्स अप टू 10। मतलब मुझे यही 10 वोल्ट टोटल पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस इन दोनों में बांटना है। किस रेशियो में बांटना है? V is proportional to R। 2:3 के रेशियो में बांटना है। तो 10 को 2:3 के रेशियो में बांट दो। कुछ लोग को डायरेक्टली दिख जाता है 4 and 6, ठीक है। अगर कुछ लोग को दिख नहीं रहा है या कभी यू आर वर्किंग विद वेरिएबल्स A and B, so then basically how do you distribute this in that ratio? You multiply 10 into 2 divided by 2 plus 3, and you multiply 10 into 3 and divide by 2 plus 3. So into that number upon sum will give you that part. Okay? 10 divided will give you basically 10 divided in that ratio. So 10 divided in the ratio of 2:3 is 4 and 6. Okay, इनका sum is 10, इनका ratio is 2:3. Now मुझे अब क्या समझ में आ गया, ये दो पॉइंट के बीच में पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस 4 है, ये दो पॉइंट के बीच में पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस 6 है। तो 10 और 0 के बीच में ऐसा कौन सा नंबर है जिसका 10 के साथ डिफरेंस 4 है और 0 के साथ डिफरेंस 6 है? What is very simple question. What is the number between 10 and 0 जिसका डिफरेंस with 10 is 4 and difference with 0 is 6, and that's the number 6, right? So या तो 10 minus 4 कर लो, 10 से 0 की तरफ 4 यूनिट जाओ, 0 से 10 की तरफ 6 यूनिट जाओ, you will land at the number 6. That's how you get the potential at the junction. Okay, can you try the same thing for this question? Okay, so ऊपर हिंट वगैरह दिया है। in for rods in series heat current is the same, तो जैसा वहां पे V is proportional to R, यहाँ पे temperature difference is proportional to thermal resistance, वो फंडा है। तो है क्या सवाल? अब फिलहाल 3 रॉड है एक के बाद एक, ओके, सबका लेंथ और एरिया मैंने सेम रखा है। लास्ट का K/2 है, इसका K/3 है, इसका K/4 है थर्मल कंडक्टिविटी। राइट एंड का टेम्परेचर 32 है, लेफ्ट एंड का टेम्परेचर 50 है। मुझे ये चीज जानना है, ये दो जंक्शंस का टेम्परेचर कितना होगा? ट्राई इट आउट। रेशियो प्रोपोर्शन का ही खेल है। या लेफ्ट हैंड का टेम्परेचर 50, राइट हैंड का 32, बीच के दो टेम्परेचर्स निकाल दो। इट्स नॉट 40 and 48, सॉरी, but just have a close look at R. R is inversely proportional to K. No, it's not 40 and 48. Yes. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Jovan, yours is correct. Hussein, very nice. Say it. Kairav, say it. Baki, do you need more time? You're getting it. Kushi, one of them is correct. Siddharth, say it. Gopal, अब सही है. Cool. Okay, so श्लोक सही है. बस करें. So basically, प्रेक्षा सही है. Nice. सामयक सही है. एक का 192. What was that? Why 192? Two temperatures are asked and they will be somewhere between 50 and 32. Okay, and it comes out to be 36 and 42. कैसा किया है एक बार समझ लो. So the idea is we see these three rods, they appear to be in series क्योंकि सब एक के बाद एक आ रहा है. Heat current through the first rod will be the same through the second, will be the same through the third. Where is that current going to go? So they are all in series. Because they are in series, V is proportional to R. So V is like temperature difference. R is, V carefully लिखना था, rho L by A के जगह L by KA. Rho नीचे भेज दो, resistivity, conductivity हो जाएगा. So delta T is proportional to L by KA. Okay. अब total temperature difference is 18, 50 और 32 के बीच में. तो 18 इन तीनों में बांटना है. Yes, rho is 1 by K. Over here, rho is resistivity. K is conductivity. The name should give you a hint. So rho is 1 by K. Rho के जगह 1 by K. And you get thermal resistance. Rho को denominator में ले लो, K डाल दो. अच्छा, तो delta T is to be divided in the ratio of resistances. L by KA. सबके लिए L by KA लिखो. तो ये हो जाएगा L by K by 4 है, वो हो जाएगा L by K by 3 है, और ये हो जाएगा L by K by 2. तो रेशियो हो जाएगा 4:3:2. 4:3:2. 4:3:2. Okay, now 18 को इस रेशियो में बांट दो. तो आई थिंक सबको काफी को डायरेक्टली दिख जाएगा. 864. 4 + 3 + 2 is 9. So into 2. But नहीं तो you can always do 18 into 4 divided by सबका sum. 18 into 3 divided by सब. Cousins 8 है. इसके 6 है, उसके पास 4 है. So we want a number between 50 and 32 जिसका difference with 50 is 8. So 50 minus 8, ये आ गया 42. We want a number between 32 and 50 जिसका difference with 32 is 4. 32 plus 4, 36. And you can cross check and see कि 42 और 36 के बीच में difference is indeed 6. ये हो गया 18 डिवाइडेड इन द रेशियो 8:6:4. Understood? See? All right. अब similarly parallel का कहानी देखते हैं. This is a lot simpler. Parallel में क्या story है? Parallel में V is the same. V is the same. That means I is inversely proportional to R because I is V by R. So I resistance के inversely proportional होता है. So if I have two resistors in parallel, let's say 1 and 2, ठीक है? And उनके through currents मान लो I1 and I2 है, then an incoming current 6 ampere था, and we want to know 6 ampere कैसे बटेगा. We know it splits, but how does it split? So it splits into I1 and I2, let's say, and the ratio of I1 and I2 is R2 is to R1 because I is inversely proportional to R. So I1 is to I2 का ratio will be 2 is to 1, R2 is to R1. It splits in the inverse ratio of resistances. ठीक है? तो 6 को 2 is to 1 के ratio में बांट दो. Sorry, बहुत easy है. 4 and 2 दिख जाएगा, नहीं तो 6 into 2 upon 2 plus 1 and 6 into 1 upon 2 plus 1 gives me 4 and 2. 4 ampere and 2 amperes add to 6 and the ratio is 2 is to 1. तो 1 ohm के across 4 जाएगा और 2 ohm के across 2 जाएगा. ठीक है? इनका पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस सेम होने के कारण 4 into 1 is 4 IR और यहाँ पे 2 into 2 is 4 IR. पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस सेम है. ठीक है? तो करंट स्प्लिट्स इन द इनवर्स रेशियो ऑफ द रेजिस्टेंसेस, व्हिच शुड मेक सेंस. रेजिस्टेंस का काम क्या है? करंट को अपोज करना. तो जो कम अपोज करता है उससे ज्यादा करंट जाएगा, कम रेजिस्ट करता है वो उससे ज्यादा करंट जाएगा, ज्यादा फ्लो दिखेगा. तो 1 ओम से बड़ा करंट 4 एम्पियर जा रहा है और 2 ओम से छोटा करंट 2 एम्पियर जा रहा है. That's how 6 gets split into those parts. Now, same logic इस सवाल के लिए लगाओ. So here I have 3 rods जिनका left end is at some fixed temperature, right end is also at another fixed temperature. So temperature difference across all of them is the same. और यहाँ से कुल मिलके 12 watt का heat current is coming. Remember, heat current is in watt. Heat by time, right? So joules per second, watt. 12 watt का heat current is coming. और कितना watt का heat current निकलेगा across each of the 3 rods is the question. Can you find I1, I2, I3? It's very simple. Try कर लो, बहुत easy है. Yes. आंसर भी स्टार्ट हो गया. आई थिंक सबका all correct so far. All answers correct so far. All answers correct so far. Just to answer one doubt, heat current will be what? Heat is in joules. Heat current is dq by d time. Joules by time. Joules by second. So it will be in watt. Power. Heat current is like a power conducted. It's like power conducted. Rate of heat flow. Okay? Power है वो basically. Watt में होगा. Okay, great. So I think everyone got this. I don't think we should waste time there. सबका आ रहा है 2, 4 and 6. Okay, तो कैसे एक बार देख लो. Simple है again. 12 is split in the ratio. So again, before that, delta T is the same. Okay, these are all across the same ends, so they have the same temperature difference, is what I was saying. Because delta T is the same, it's like though they are in, is as if they are in parallel. Now I is inversely proportional to R, so dq by dt is proportional to R का reciprocal. तो R का reciprocal ले लो, तो Ka by L. dq by dt is proportional to Ka by L. ठीक है, तो 12 वॉट का टोटल पावर आ रहा है, हीट करंट आ रहा है, उसको अब Ka by L के रेशियो में तोड़ना है. अच्छा, Ka by L का रेशियो क्या होगा? A और L सबके लिए सेम है. K का रेशियो 1:2:3 है, तो ही Ka by L का भी रेशियो हो गया. तो मुझे बेसिकली जो आउटकमिंग जो करंट जाएगा ईच रॉड से, दैट करंट विल बी द रेशियो 1:2:3. Current is proportional to K. A and L are the same now. So 12 watt will be split in the ratio 1:2:3, which will be 12 into 1 upon 6, 12 into 2 upon 6, and 12 into 3 upon 6, which will give me 2, 4, and 6. Okay? So that's the idea. Now, abhi isme don't sit and memorize ki parallel mein ye hota hai, series mein hota hai. Rather, I mean, understand at least these things. Current electricity तुम बहुत बार करोगे, so make sure you remember कि करंट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के लिए पैरेलल का ये फंडा होता है, I is inversely proportional to R, and series में V is directly proportional to R. And when you get a question on heat transfer, you can just extend the logic and apply it over here the way we just did. Right hand side सीख के, ये right hand side पता, being aware of the right hand side, we have answered the left hand side. Right? इसका यूनिट्स गाइस वन लास्ट टाइम, ये वाला एग्जांपल तो मैं इसके लिए काम कर रहा था ना, आई वाज डूइंग दिस फॉर अ रॉड. सो दिस इज रेट ऑफ फ्लो ऑफ हीट. हीट इज जूल्स, टी इज सेकंड्स, so joules by second, this is going to be in watt. Heat current is nothing but power conducted, energy by time. Okay, so इधर तो यूनिट वॉट्स ही रहेगा. Yeah, all right. It's analogous to current, which is in amperes. Heat current is analogous to that, but heat current itself is measured in watt. So I mean, you can literally solve this like a question on current electricity, but just in the end you will place the correct units. Okay. Maybe we have time to have a look at Kirchhoff's junction law quickly. So Kirchhoff's junction law, अब वैसे और भी बहुत सारे लॉज हैं करंट इलेक्ट्रिसिटी में, सब कुछ नहीं देख रहे हैं, जो जिसका एक्चुअली प्रैक्टिकल एप्लीकेशन कंडक्शन में है वो देख रहे हैं. तो उसमें एक ऐसा एक यूजफुल लॉ है called as Kirchhoff's junction law in current electricity, which is a very simple law. वो लॉ क्या कहता है? It says कि the net current reaching a junction has to add up to 0, right? And that's quite logical, because if the current does not add up to 0, there will be charge accumulation over there, right? So once the steady state and all is established, this may be हो सकता है steady state का फंडा, but once everything is established, then once it is just purely conducting current, you should not have any charge accumulation over there. मतलब net current reaching the junction cannot be 0. Has to be 0. Why does it have to be 0? Because if there are positive terms, one of the term at least has to be negative. If there is some current reaching the junction, there has to be something leaving the junction. Okay, let me just unmute. Or did you raise your hand by mistake? I think that was by mistake. So there is some current reaching a junction. There will similarly be some current leaving the junction. Therefore, net current reaching the junction should be 0. This is Kirchhoff's junction law. Okay. एक सेकेंड, जल्दी देख लो. Let me know when you're done. तो ये वेक्टर इक्वेशन नहीं है, यहाँ पे वेक्टर इक्वेशन नहीं है, दिस इज अ सिंपल स्केलर इक्वेशन। बहुत ही सिंपल सा आइडिया देख लो। चलो, बिफोर करंट लेट्स थिंक अबाउट वाटर फ्लोइंग, ठीक है। सो इमेजिन मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि यहाँ से 1 लीटर पर सेकेंड पानी आ रहा है, यहाँ से पाइप से 3 लीटर पर सेकेंड पानी आ रहा है, तो यहाँ पे कितना आएगा? ऐसे 3 पाइप में पानी कितना आएगा? हाँ, सो थोड़ा ट्रिक क्वेश्चन है, मतलब बेसिकली आएगा तो नहीं, जाएगा। कितना जाएगा? 4 लीटर पर सेकेंड जाना पड़ेगा। वाई? बिकॉज यू कैन हैव वाटर अक्यूमुलेशन ओवर देयर, राइट। 2 एंड से 1 और 3 आ रहा है, तो तीसरे एंड से निकलना चाहिए। अब इसको मैथमेटिकली थोड़ा घुमा फिरा के लिखना है, तो आई कैन से कि 4 निकलने की जगह आई कैन इन अ वे से कि 4 निकलना इज सिमिलर टू -4 आना। So with that perspective, the net water reaching the junction is adding up to 0. Simple reason is it cannot be non-zero. If it is non-zero, then either there is water being accumulated over there or there is water being depleted over there, which does not make sense. So the net amount of water reaching that junction is going to be 0. Now, one of we saying, why don't we want the similar story for charge? The net amount of charge reaching this junction should be 0. Now, one of you saying, sir, why do we not want charge accumulation to occur? Point is, once steady state is achieved, I'll just sorry. Once steady state is achieved, charge accumulation नहीं होगा. Charge accumulation means देखो चार्ज जैसा तुमने टेम्परेचर के केस में स्टेडी स्टेट समझा ना, वैसे ही यहाँ पे सीन है कि यहाँ पे स्टार्टिंग में there may be some potentials at these points, जिनके कारण यहाँ पे पोटेंशियल कोई वैल्यू होना चाहता है. Once that potential has been achieved, उसके आगे there won't be further charge accumulation हो जाए. Further charge accumulate होते जाएगा तो वहाँ का potential change हो जाएगा. वहाँ का potential change होते जाएगा तो then its potential may become greater than the sources itself, and it will start to prevent that kind of current. So there's an equilibrium established, right? You will have to understand that ultimately there will be a steady state achieved where the forces trying to change the charge at this point are in balance. Imagine it's like you're filling a bucket with a hole at the bottom. तो ऊपर से पानी गिरते जा रहा है और नीचे से पानी निकल रहा है. And those, if you've done fluid mechanics, you know कि there is a water level जहाँ पे there's a water height जहाँ पे the rate at which water is coming in is the rate at which water is leaving. Right? By the way, am I audible? I think हाँ. The rate at which the water is coming is the rate at which water is leaving. Right? Finally, एक ऐसा state आएगा. That state is a state of equilibrium. तो यहाँ पे भी वही सीन है. At this junction, the rate at which the current coming in should be the current going out. So net current coming into that junction should be 0. Once steady state is achieved, once there is no reason for यहाँ का potential to change. I hope you got it. It's very simple law. जैसा पानी का तुमने आंसर किया वैसे ही. यहाँ से 3 एम्पियर, यहाँ से 1 एम्पियर आएगा, तो यहाँ से 4 एम्पियर एक्चुअली निकलेगा. मतलब अंदर -4 एम्पियर आएगा. सबका सम 0 होना चाहिए. Okay? Everyone on the same page? Abhi, I hope you guys understood that law. Now we'll use that law for a question in heat transfer, which will look like this. वो हमें by the way, can somebody just comment something and just confirm that you heard something, because I have a little doubt if my network was stable. Check. Can you guys hear me? Hello. Okay, you can. हाँ, fine. Good. Thank you. तो अभी क्या है, लेट्स से तुम्हें ऐसे तीन पॉइंट्स दिया है, उनका टेम्परेचर दिया है, और वो ऐसा, ठीक है, 3 अलग पॉइंट्स का टेम्परेचर देंगे और यहाँ पे ऐसे 3 रॉड देंगे और फिर एक कॉमन क्वेश्चन होता है कि ये जंक्शन, ठीक है, ये जंक्शन का टेम्परेचर निकाल के बताओ। ओके, ये जंक्शन का टेम्परेचर निकाल के बताओ। Guys, just a few minutes and then I'll close it for the day. I'm not going to go beyond this. I'll give you one question for homework. ठीक है, तो ये एटलीस्ट सुन लो। तो ये जंक्शन का टेम्परेचर निकाल के बताओ, ऐसा सवाल आएगा। तो what you will do is same funda, net current reaching the junction is 0. Okay, net current reaching the junction is 0. तो यहाँ पे भी लिखो net current reaching this junction is 0. अब net current reaching this junction कैसे लिखते हैं? So current is what? Potential difference by resistance. Okay. Now, by resistance मतलब by L upon KA. तो KA ऊपर L नीचे, ये हो गया resistance. और potential difference कैसे लिखेंगे? अब इसमें you may end up writing one of two ways. You may end up writing it as T minus, or you may end up writing as T1 minus T. Okay, now T minus T1 technically means current leaving the junction, T से T1 जाना, और T1 minus T means current approaching the junction. अब उनमें से तुम कौन सा लिखोगे वो फर्क, उसमें फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. And you also understanding कि this is entering or leaving the junction is also not very important in the middle of the exam. But what you need to be aware of is, तुम इसको जो भी फॉर्मेट में लिखो, अब मैंने क्या फॉर्मेट लिखा, मैंने T minus T1 इनसाइड माइनस आउटसाइड लिखा, इसको जिस फॉर्मेट में लिखा वैसा ही बाकी टर्म्स का भी टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस लिखो, T minus T2, T minus T3, write it in the same format. So क्या हो जाएगा, if this is meaning the current leaving the junction, then the rest will also mean current leaving the junction. And total current leaving the junction should also be 0, because not everything can leave. Something has to come, something has to leave. Equal amount has to come, equal amount has to leave. So net amount leaving the junction is 0, net amount reaching the junction is 0. Okay, so even if you don't fully realize कि in the middle of the exam कि ये जो तुमने लिखा T minus T1, you don't want to sit and think अरे ये reaching entering junction है या leaving junction है, तुम इसको बस P by R मतलब potential by R के फॉर्म में लिख लिया, जिस फॉर्म में लिखा वैसा ही फॉर्मेट में बाकी तीन टर्म्स के लिए भी लिखो, and in that way you will ensure कि you're talking about the same thing. So if I write it in this format, I'll say net current leaving the junction is 0, which is true. And अगर मैंने उल्टा लिखा होता, इसको T1 minus T लिखा होता पहले वाले को, तो दूसरे को भी T2 minus T, तीसरे को भी T3 minus T लिखूंगा, and in that format will become the net current reaching the junction, which is going to be 0. And that's it, that's the idea. And I am sorry I said this is the last page, but if you guys can just try this and we'll end with this, just to solidify the idea, एक simple example with those values, just try करके फिर चले जाओ, बहुत जल्दी हो जाएगा. Just can you find the value of T for me? Imagine ऐसा एक, this is the last page, promise, ठीक है. So there's a steel rod, aluminum rod, copper rod, जिनका K value मैंने एकदम simple करके अच्छा value दिया है. Length सबका 1 meter, area सबका 1 centimeter square. Okay, and I'll show the formula. And these temperatures are 50, 4 and 12. And the question is, find the temperature at the junction. Okay, so formula पूरा formula देने के जगह I'll just say कि the idea was I1 plus I2 plus I3 adds up to 0. I is V by R. V is like delta T. R is like rho L by A. Okay. You can work out all of this. So rho नीचे भेजोगे तो R is like L by KA. Can you try? तो इन सबको ऊपर लेने के बाद I becomes delta T KA by L. Yes, Gopal, perfect. Yes, खुशी श्लोक सही है. निश्चित सही है. ग्रेट. रेहान सही है. जोमान सबका आई थिंक एवरीवन आंसर इज आंसर करेक्ट. Yes, all correct. Those who got it correct, you want, you can leave as well. Just before you leave, just a second before you leave, I think we'll stop it. Yeah, you can leave. Bye bye. तो जिनको है ना नहीं आया एक बार देख लो. 10 is the correct answer. 10 is the correct answer. So basically when you apply Kirchhoff's the junction law, the idea is summation of current reaching a junction or leaving a junction, one of the two is 0. So current is V by R is L by KA. तो वो KA ऊपर आ जाएगा. So इनका summation 0. KA delta T by L is 0. अब बस यहाँ पे मेरा एडवाइस है कि डेल्टा टी ज्यादा सोचो मत. हाँ yes, I'll be sending the notes. Don't worry about writing delta T as जंक्शन का टेम्परेचर माइनस बाहर का या बाहर का माइनस जंक्शन का. बोथ वर्क provided you maintain it for all three terms. Okay, so like for instance मैंने just let me go the names. 12450 किनके नाम है? Aluminium, copper, steel. 200 450. तो aluminium के लिए जैसा मैंने दिया 200 A by L. Okay, T minus 12. Now one of these things, so wouldn't we have to convert into Celsius? Very nice doubt. Would we have to convert into Celsius? Yeah, bye bye. Thanks guys, all over saying bye. The answer is no. अब तुमने ये देखा, just try to remember what I said a little earlier today. ये जो K आ रहा है ना, ये K temperature change के कारण आ रहा है. And that temperature change measured in Kelvin or measured in Celsius, degree Celsius, is one and the same. You could very easily write this K as degree Celsius. You could replace it as well. It's not absolute temperature. It's coming because of a temperature change. 1 Kelvin change is 1 degree Celsius change. Temperature change ka unit is the same in Kelvin and degree Celsius. So therefore you don't need to convert. करोगे तो भी मतलब I think आंसर वैसे ही आएगा. स्वरा, I'll just come to your doubt. एक बार ये I'll finish this off. तो ये T माइनस, तो अंदर का टेम्परेचर माइनस बाहर का T माइनस 12. ठीक है. सिमिलरली 400 A by L, ये कॉपर के लिए T माइनस 4, और ये 50 A by L, ये आई थिंक स्टील के लिए T माइनस 50. नोटिस की T माइनस बाहर का सब में सेम फॉर्मेट फॉलो कर लो, सेम साइड में लिखो. इक्वेट टू 0, AL कट गया and 481 हो गया on dividing by 50. 4T plus 8T plus 1T makes it 13T. Right hand side में 4 into 12, 8 into 4 and 1 into 50 ले लो, which adds up to 130. So 13T is 130, so T is 10 degrees. Okay, got it? And so I'm just seeing it out. If we consider rod, then can the value of steady state be determined by any formula, or does it vary for different substances and under different conditions? Why is constant steady state achieved? Shouldn't the rod try and absorb more heat for every instance of heat flow? Okay, great. Let's answer this doubt, but I'll share it with the others as well. एल मैंने एक्चुअली एल कहाँ पे 1 मीटर, एल एक्चुअली काट दिया, एल सबके लिए सेम था ना, तो एल और ए यूज ही नहीं किया, एल हमने कैंसिल किया है. What has been substituted is 200, 450 is the value of k. K was 200, 450. L और A सबके लिए सेम था, वो कट गया. Okay. अच्छा, Swara, I'm just taking it out. Actually, let's talk about the first thing is, does it vary for different substances under different conditions? What do you mean by value of steady state? If you talk about the temperature distribution, yes, Divyansh, yes. By the way, Swara, can you raise your hand? We'll keep you unmuted till this gets cleared. Yeah. So, Abhi.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can. So, Abhi, so if you're referring to the temperature distribution, so first of all, the temperature distribution being a smooth linear thing, as I've said, it depends on cross-sectional area being uniform and material being uniform. So that said, in the same situation, agar steel ke jagah copper rod use karte the, but you keep it uniform, you'll get the same distribution. You'll get temperature distributing uniformly. Okay, so the way temperature varies depends, first of all, it will vary linearly if it's uniform, but if it is not uniform, if area is changing, then the way it varies will depend on area, will depend on the value of K at every point, etc., and so on and so forth. So yes, its distribution could depend on the material, but if it's uniform, then it'll just be a smooth linear distribution. The second question, like the question you asked, why should the rod keep absorbing, why shouldn't it keep absorbing heat? So that's missing out one fact key. There is this guy also who wants to keep absorbing heat. So there are two forces in play. Somebody is trying to give heat to the rod, somebody is trying to extract heat to the rod. Okay, and take for example a hypothetical case where this guy's temperature continue to increase. इसको 40 कर दो, you will immediately see what's going on. इसको जैसे तुमने 40 किया ना, अच्छा एक सेकंड. So how will we know that a part of the rod is satisfied with the heat consumed? So it's not something that you need to know and tell कि हाँ ये अब satisfy हो गया. You just need to know कि eventually it will attain that situation. So I'm trying to show कि why does it have to eventually attain the situation and why doesn't it keep getting heated up? So let's say hypothetically मान लो ये 40 touch कर रहा है. कौन ये 40 touch कर रहा है? ये वाला. अब अगर ये 40 टच करे, जस्ट थिंक व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन टू दिस सेक्शन. ये वाला इसको अब कोई हीट नहीं देगा. व्हाई? दे आर एट हीट फ्लो टेक्स प्लेस विद द टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस. तो अब सोर्स उसको कोई हीट नहीं देगा, बट ये हीट डिमांड करेगा क्योंकि ये 36 पे है और वो 40 पे है. सो द रेट एट विच so the rate at which this guy is extracting heat is far greater than the rate at which this guy is being supplied heat. So what will happen? Logically, what's going to happen? It's going to lose temperature, right? So overshoot हमने hypothetically करा दिया. Now this is going to fall back. अच्छा, let's say this is falling back to 39. Let's keep everything evenly spaced. अब ये 3 के रेट से मान लो है ना, 3 के टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस के हिसाब से खींचेगा हीट, वो एक ही टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस के हिसाब से सप्लाई करेगा हीट. अभी भी क्या सीन है? अभी भी खींचने वाला हीट ज्यादा है, T3 और जोर से T4 को खींच रहा है, राइट? सो व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ दैट? अगेन T4's temperature will drop till there is a steady state achieved. 38 पे what are we saying? चलो 38 पे we're saying कि यहाँ पे अब ये डिफरेंस और ये डिफरेंस बराबर है to the extent that जितना हीट T3 एक्सट्रैक्ट कर रहा है T4 से, उतना ही TH सप्लाई कर रहा है T4 तक, T4 को, which is why T4's temperature now will not change further. Okay, and the same kind of, so now T4's temperature is at an equilibrium. There were two things happening simultaneously. One was trying to give heat to an element, and the other was trying to remove heat from the element. ये वाला इसको heat दे रहा है, ये वाला heat निकाल रहा है. ये वाला इसको heat दे रहा है, ये वाला heat T1 T2 से heat निकाल रहा है. Right, so that's what's going on simultaneously. There are two processes trying to achieve two different things. Eventually there will be an equilibrium. As iska temperature increases, the one who was giving it heat will give heat slower and slower. The one who's removing heat will remove faster and faster. So eventually there has to be an equilibrium attained. I hope you get that. Huh? We can't have the entire rod at 40 because then it's the same situation in reverse. अब पूरा rod 40 पे तो ये खींचना start करेगा ना. And accordingly,
yes, sir. So that process will continue till the temperature on the right hand side is also 40, but the temperatures inside the rod will still remain uniform, right? They remain constant, right?
Will still remain constant. और वो uniformly hot end वाला temperature से cold end वाला temperature तक uniformly will, if it's a uniform rod, will linearly decrease होके ऐसा variation gradient इसके अंदर चलेगा. Okay, and one of you saying, wait, yeah, Aditya, if you need to know when conduction takes place, you will not need to know. You will always assume. So there will be no question revolving around the time required for this to take place. That will never be asked. Any numerical question will always say, solve for this, once steady state is achieved. But theoretically, the concept of steady state, you should know. ठीक है, इतना कुछ टाइम थोड़ा जाता है steady state achieve होने में. क्या होता है steady state, क्यों हो रहा है ऐसा achieve eventually. Those kind of things you should understand. All right. Okay. Welcome. See you. Bye-bye. Welcome.